Hello chess friends. In the second part of the series on Magnus Carlsen's chess combinations, I will try to focus on the games which Magnus Carlsen played after he became Grandmaster. Okay, in this first game, his opponent was very strong and experienced Grandmaster Predrag Nikolic. And as you can see, Magnus' forces placed ideally and they are ready for the finishing touch. And in this position you can stop your video in order to figure out how to continue the attack. And in this position Magnus Carlsen delivered a decisive blow, knight g5 move. The idea is simple. Magnus Carlsen wants to simply play the move queen f3 with decisive effect. Black has no other moves since his bishop is hanging on e6. He has to take on g5. And after queen f3 check, king can only go to g8 square because those bishops are very strong, looking at very strong directions on the king side. And now the last final touch, which is rook takes e6. Of course, rook is untouchable due to the mating threat on f8. And Black cannot move his rook anywhere. Let's say if rook to somewhere, then there is rook e7. The ideas of mate on f7 and attack on the queen. So in this position Nikolic resigned, but I'll try to look at moves like queen f7. And one line which I found very instructive is rook takes e8 check, queen takes e8, and now queen takes d5 doesn't have the desired effect. But if white starts with the move rook takes a5, removing the defender of the c4 square, then queen takes d5, queen takes d5 ideas gain strength. Let's see, if bishop takes a5, of course queen e1 in between move doesn't work because after bishop f1 there's a whole lot of threats on f8 on d5. For this reason he has to take with the bishop, and after queen takes d5, queen f7, there's a very strong move in this position. Since queen d8 is not available because of this bishop, there's a very strong alternative, bishop c4, immediately winning, because queen is attacked, which cannot be defended, and if queen takes d5, then there's bishop takes d5, finishing the game off. A very spectacular game by Magnus Carlsen. With the move knight g5, he finished the game in a very nice fashion. Okay, let's move on to the next game. In this game, against the lower rated opponents, Carlsen has a chance to deliver this decisive blow. However, if he doesn't go for the black king, black's position looks fine after, let's say, moves like knight f6, knight takes f6, bishop takes f6, rook takes c5. Even if white is a pawn up, black might claim some compensation after rook d8 due to the misplaced rook on h3. For this reason, trying to make use of the active forces, he should do something spectacular on the king side, and Carlsen starts with knight takes h6 move, completely demolishing the king side formation black has to take. And after rook takes h6, it seems that rook g5 mate is threatened, so black played the move king g7. Of course, queen g4 looked possible, but after bishop c1, simply renewing the idea, black has no way to prevent, and probably he is losing his queen. Black cannot remove his knight due to the mating threat on h7, so this move doesn't help black. So for this reason, black played the move king g7, attacking the rook, and Carlsen played the move rook g5, sacrificing the rook, with the idea of, after king takes h6, bishop c1. It's very interesting to observe that king cannot move anywhere, and this bishop's diagonal is too strong, and this cannot be blocked. So black captured on d4, and after discovered check, white continues his attack. Queen e3 is forced because there are no other moves in this position. After, let's say, king h5, rook h4 is mate, so he played the move queen e3, but after some more moves, rook h4, very strong move. He doesn't want to take on e3 because the rook on g4 is hanging. Rook h4, a very strong move, and knight h5 was played, again attacking the rook on h4. So after take on h5 and queen h7, another in-between move. Queen cannot go to h6 because it can be taken with the queen with the help of c1 bishop, and king g4, and now f takes e3, and white's completely winning, and he soon won the game in just few moves. Okay, let's move on to the next game. In this position, Carlsen has more than enough compensation for his missing pawn due to his very active forces, and he has various ways improving his position, like the moves f5, but this is probably too tame for the requirements of the position. And in this position, you might stop your video in order to figure out how to continue. Carlsen made a brilliant sacrifice with the move knight takes f7, removing the defender of the black king and also trying to open up lines against black king. Queen takes f7, and now the idea is clear. f5, trying to open up the f file and also using the pin on the a2 g8 diagonal. Black played the move queen h5, and white simply captures on e6, trying to mate his opponent's king. Knight d7 was played, and after this move, Carlsen played the move f6, trying to open up the files and the diagonals for his pieces. Knight takes x6 was played, and after rook takes f6, a very strong move again. Black has no moves because after, let's say, the moves like g takes f6, there's bishop g4, winning the queen, discovered attack. For this reason, his opponent sacrificed his queen on h4, and even so, Carlsen doesn't capture the offered queen because he has stronger continuation. Queen takes c6, check, and of course only move is king e7, trying to protect this d6 bishop, and after rook f7 check, king takes e6, and he mates his opponent with the move queen c4, checkmate. A brilliant example of attacking display, and this shows how to play against the king in center in a nice fashion. Okay, let's move on to another example. And in this next game, Carlsen played against Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. He is now a super grandmaster. In this position, Carlsen is totally winning, but he has a clear-cut way in order to checkmate his opponent's king. You might stop your video in order to figure out how Carlsen finished the game off. In this position, Carlsen played the move knight f6, trying to remove this g7 pawn from the defense of the black king, and after g takes f6, the idea is clear. Rook h1, knight h6, and after rook g6, rook h6 idea is inevitable, so Vachier-Lagrave gives some spike checks, and Carlsen goes with his king to a safe spot, and after king e6, Vachier-Lagrave resigned. Another very nice victory for Magnus Carlsen. And this is another example of brute force calculation by Magnus Carlsen. In this position, White created an attacking setup with his active pieces, but it seems that for the time being, Black is safe enough with his king. And in order to create direct threats, White should destroy Black's king's cover. And he can start doing that with the move Bishop h6, immediately threatening mate on g7. And Black played the move Rook g8. Of course, we should understand what happens after the move g takes h6. And as we can see, h7 square is vulnerable, so logical continuation would be queen e4. Checkmate, threat, f5 is forced, and after the en passant, e takes f6, again threatening mate and also the bishop, so knight f6 is also forced, and after queen c6, White is a material up and he is a great position, and probably he is simply winning here. For this reason, Black player preferred the move Rook g8, trying to cover the g7 square with his rook, and it seems that White has nothing but to retreat this bishop, which is hanging on h6, but Carlsen has another really strong idea, and you can try to figure it out yourself by stopping your video. And he continues on demolishing Black's king cover. Bishop takes a7, very strong move. Simply Black has to capture. King takes h7, bishop e3. Now the idea is clear. White is threatening to mate with queen h5, and he has also some ideas of playing a discovered attack on the Black queen. In the game, Black played the move Rook c8. Of course, we might check the moves with the g-pawn. g6 doesn't help Black because there's checkmate on h6. And also, g5 doesn't help him to achieve his goal due to queen h5 check, and White can simply play the move knight e6, winning the queen and also have a winning position. For this reason, Black played the move Rook c8, but this also can be answered by knight takes e6, threatening mate and also attacking the Black queen. Black has to take, and now Carlsen made some very nice in-between moves in order to take some more material. First starting with move queen h3, luring the king into vulnerable situation like g8, and after queen takes e6 he grabs more material, and after king f8 he at last took the material on b6, and after knight b6 another brilliant touch and easy one, knight takes a5, winning more material, exploiting the hanging pieces on the 6th rank, and after some more moves he won the game. Bishop c8 and queen b3. In this position Black resigned.